attention high overhead as the helicopter is inbound with today's jumpers from your U.S. Army Special Operations Command Black Dagger Parachute Team. Right now, the jump master is looking outside the aircraft, facing into the cold wind. Since voice commands cannot be heard over the deafening sound of the aircraft's engines, the jump master, through a series of hand and arm signals, will guide the aircraft to a precise exit point. The jumpers have now performed their final equipment checks. Watch closely now as the jumpers prepare to exit.
Situation on the ground. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome the Geico Skytypers. Once the formation detects a threat, the aircraft must split up and maneuver aggressively to avoid being targeted. Let's watch as the 6 aircraft separate to visually check all quadrants. The solos will now return to give you an example of one type of air-to-air maneuver called a two-circle guns pass. The opposing aircraft will pass as close as possible and then turn into each other to create 2 circles in an attempt to get behind the other and gain an advantage. Head-on encounters may be handled differently, depending on the situation. Or choose to bug out. As the fourth ship turns away, let's watch from the left as the solos quickly change their minds and decide to pitch back into the fight. Follow the solos as they enter a combat air patrol, or CAP, and perform a search for the formation. This type of CAP can be employed with onboard radar, with assistance from an airborne command and control platform, or performed visually if the threat is close. Where would you be now? Your awesome is loose down along the track. You lost a home and a family, and you won't be coming back without love. As the solos get a tally or a visual, they will turn toward the 4-ship formation. The solos have discovered more than they expected. The Delta has switched to a line abreast, or as we call it, a wall of SNJs. This formation is the same flight position used when the team Sky types messages. On command from the leader, The Skytypers will execute a 90-degree right turn and shift into a trail formation. Once in trail, they must regroup into a more effective formation in order to continue their mission. These aircraft weigh about 5,500 pounds and use a 600 horsepower supercharged 9-cylinder Pratt & Whitney radial engine, the R1340, all overhauled by Tulsa aircraft engines. To each other and then split apart.
Gonna swim in the cold.
Fights on is called, and the solos respond by turning back towards each other. This tests the pilot's skill and avoids any other advantage going into a head-on pass. Fighter pilots call this maneuver the merge. Watch now. As the solos pitch into each other and turn in the same direction into a one-circle fight. The wing solo has more energy, causing the lead solo to turn away too soon, and it appears that an advantage is developing.
Would it be true to say that I ordered you? Would I be lying if I said you were too sweet? Though I'm quite sure you got a bite. Say that you're just a special treat, but we both know that that's not right.
This formation is often seen in wartime movies and documentaries. The aircraft will roll in on a high-angle strafe to fire on the enemy targets below. Watch as each aircraft rolls in and then fires and then abruptly pulls up to evade enemy gunfire and the possibility of getting hit by airborne fragments from the exploding targets. Strafing for the Geico Skytypers today are number 1, Larry Arkin with Steve Kapoor. Number 2, Chris Orr. Number 3, Ken Johansson. And number 4, Bob Johansson.
I try my best, hey, cover high. It's a common way to blame.
Overhead, the solos have detected a group of threatening aircraft intending to attack the target area. The solos will maneuver to gain an advantage on the other aircraft by splitting up. The solo pilots, Steve Salmers and Tom Daly. Watch now as the Diamond approaches and strategically maneuvers to successfully avoid the intercept. Ladies and gentlemen, the Geico Skytypers bomb burst.
Where you've heard about love and giving sight to the blind. My baby loving cause the sun to shine.
The solos will once again pop up to surprise the enemy on the ground and deliver their ordnance.
Rumors spread around United Texas town about the shack outside the game. You know what I'm talking about. Just let me know. Ain't just gonna go to that.
As the team prepares for its next coordinated maneuver, Geico Skytypers would like to invite you to all 6 aircraft of the Geico Skytypers and their salute to our military. This is the Geico Skytypers Fan Pass.
Sing it as we dance in the night. Remember how the stars go the night away.
Watch now as the Geico Skytypers show you how all military aircraft including the military performance jet teams, rejoin into a single formation. The Skytypers will perform another 90-degree turn to set up for their rejoin into the Delta formation. As the lead aircraft starts to turn and smokes for identification, the other aircraft add power to put their noses in front of the lead in order to fly a shorter distance. Each pilot must be aware of the position of all the aircraft so they can rejoin as quickly and as safely as possible. A round of applause to Geico Skytyper lead number 1, Larry Arkin with Steve Kapoor.
I don't need a whole lot of money.
Number 2, Chris Orr.
A big
Number 3, Ken Johansson. Number 4, Bob Johansson. Number 5, Steve Salmers. And number 6, Tom Daly. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2016 Geico Skytypers.